Shalom to my brothers and sisters who are called the bride of the Messiah, and shalom, shalom to the scattered Hebrew Israelites, for you are the bride of Yahuwah, and Yahuwah is the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom. Today I bring you a video that gave confirmation of what we discussed in the past regarding with the 13th month, whether it should be added in the year of 2017 to 2018 or to 2018 to 2019. Well, we have the confirmation now. And it's dealing with looking at our brother's records. But let me first say this. You're probably wondering why I didn't go to him and I saw these errors. Well, in the past, my brothers and sisters, I have dealt with this brother several times, and he has been very nasty towards me. Also, I was in their group one time, we're looking at the Most High calendar, and they just ignored me when I was coming to them with certain information, like why is the new moon appearing in other countries before Israel, and they would just ignore me. So what I learned from the past. Why continue to go to someone who is going to talk down to you or be nasty to you when you have reasonable questions? Okay. So I know he's gonna get wind of this video, and I'm not gonna be surprised if he leave a nasty comment like he usually does. In one of my videos, he have done that. But this is about us learning from one another. It's not to um, make fun of someone when they make errors, because I have made errors on the calendar. But when I make errors, I bring that out, I make the correction, so that way you, my brothers and sisters, can go back and look at the calendar too for yourself and look at the corrections I made, okay? Because the word tells that we all given a piece to this puzzle, to this divine story that's being played out. And if we all come together and work together and not look at the person's gender, then we can get the complete picture and we can see what Yahuwah is telling us. Because Yahuwah does deal with female too, my brothers and sisters. This is why we have prophets and prophetess. Okay, we have male prophets and we have female prophetess. So, and there's many other accounts in the Bible of how the Father uses male, female, children, beasts, etc., to do His will, from the Old Covenant to the New Covenant, as well as many other sacred books that was written that's evident of that. So this thing of this gender thing, how male treat female and how female treat male, it needs to stop. It needs to end, because you've fallen into the snare of Satan. When you understand the mystery of whom you're truly submitting, because it's written in the book that we are to submit ourselves to one another in the body of the Messiah, and that the woman is to submit to her husband. And notice what is written in, I think it's First Peter chapter 3, where it's written that how the woman win her husband over to conversation. That's a mystery to that. Yes, the Father do use the woman to get the man, or to get the man's attention. Okay. Whom are you truly submitting to? See, these are things that's not being taught, the spiritual things. When you understand what the word is teaching about whom you're truly submitting to, it's not about gender. It goes higher than that. It's about the spirit, but whose spirit you are submitting yourself to. Okay? So when you as you see here, this is the title of the video. It said, looking at our brother calendar records in the 13th month, the overlooked errors. And we can learn from our brother errors. This is not to make fun of him or to say, you made a mistake. No, this is for edification, because I learned things from his calendar record, okay, that has edified me in far as ensuring that I'm following what the prophets have said, such as Enoch, um, Ezekiel, okay, the high priest Ezra. All of them in the Bible has given us the word on the Most High calendar, and how we should follow those lights in the heaven. And the lights I'm talking about is still with Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, which are the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. Okay, so now let us begin. Oh, let me go down here. Okay, now, sorry about that. So we're going to scroll down because we are going to be reviewing our brother calendar records, and he does have copyright issues on that. So respect him on that and give him credit where credit is due. Now, I made a chart, and you will have access to this Google document, so you don't have to write this down. I just want you to listen, okay? On Brother Yahushua website, you will find he does have a record of when he was keeping the 13th moon, as well as the Most High calendar record. So he does have a record of that. And let me go to that tab now so you can see what I'm talking about. It's on this website. This is one of them. Let me go to the main one where I got the information. It's dealing with this right here. He sorry about that. It's gonna be a pop-up. On this website, here he has the record of the Most High calendar from 1994 to 2007. So this is where I got this information from. All right. So going back here, when we look at the chart of Brother Yahushua 13 moon record, according to the prophet Enoch, there is a cycle we must follow, and that cycle is 358. If you read first and second Enoch, you will learn that the moon has a 358 cycle and a sevenfold. Okay, and we'll talk about the sevenfold, what that means further in this video. So here is a record of Brother Yahushua 13 moon date. Okay, and this is more accurate than what I had before, because what I had before, I had to take his new moon sightings and count back and figure out what year he says that a 13th moon is added. But looking at that site I just took you to gave me a more accurate picture of what year he's claiming the 13th moon. Okay, so the year that he claimed a 13th moon was in 1996 to 97, 1998 to 99, 2001 to 2002, 2004 to 2005, 2006 to 2007, 2009 to 2010, 2012 to 2013, 2015 to 2016, and 2017 to 2018. Now, by me having this information, these years should follow the 358 cycle. So now we're going to look at that. And you might hear some noise in the background, but I'm going to turn that down. Sorry about that. There we go. So everything pretty much goes smooth sailing until we get to the year of 2015 and 2016. Okay, and I'm gonna let you see what I'm talking about. See where my cursor at right here. So looking at the year of 96 to 97, when you go from that year to 98 to 99, you will notice that it falls from the third cycle to the fifth year of the moon, okay? And in that column, that is between, right here where you see my cursor at, I'm sorry, forgive me, Shalaki. In the column of difference, if you take 3 from 5, you get a 2-year difference, okay? When you look at the year, you take 96 from 98, you get a 2-year difference, okay? So what I'm showing you is a pattern. But notice how the Most High works. This pattern occurs for a certain period of time, and then it resets itself just like a clock does, okay? And what I mean by that, you got 3, 5, 8, and then that pattern starts all over again, 3, 5, 8. And notice the difference between these numbers of the 3, 5, and 8. You have 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. Okay, so take this time now to pause your screen to look at that. All right, but when we get down to the year of 2015, 2016, and I'm an eyewitness of this because I was following Brother Hashur new moon sightings and compared to what we got here in America. And he did see and he did state that we are to add a 13th new moon to the year of 2015 to 2016. Now the problem with that, it does not follow the 358 cycle. Instead, you have 3, 3, 5. Do you see that, my brothers and sisters? You have 3, 3, 5. So when he added the 13th moon to the year of, not only to the year of 2015 to 2016, but he also added to the year of 2017 to 2018, it threw off the 358 cycle. This is why I could not follow Brother Hashur because the numbers didn't add up. This is just simple math. It don't add up. It does not follow this cycle that Enoch, the prophet of Yahuwah, has given unto us. Okay. So in the next column, let me go back up. If you see like the date of the 13th moon, I got this information from this website here. That's where I got that from, okay? And I used that information to calculate the following years, okay? Again, using that 358 cycle. Also, I went to this site and I looked at those dates too of a bid, and that's how I was able to get the calculation of when his 13th moon should occur. All right. And then in the last column, which is the date of the Enoch, that is looking at the Enoch in comparison to the 13th month to see how soon it occurred. Now, by keeping a record of Yahuwah's calendar, this is what I learned, my brothers and sisters. See, Brother Hashur said that the new moon must start before the date of the equinox. Okay. But there are some years, my brothers and sisters, where the new moon will start on the day of the equinox, or it can start just a few days before the equinox, somewhere between 1 to 4, at the most 1 to 5. And sometimes it can be it can be hard to determine when to add that 13th month, okay? Because we know a lot of things are happening out of season. To understand what I'm talking about, read the prophet Enoch's writings and you'll understand that, okay? So the key factor that I learned by keeping a record and by looking at what Brother Hashua was doing, and also reading the prophet's writings such as Enoch, Ezekiel, the high priest Ezra, okay? By looking at all of that and by going to the Father, I learned that the new moon can appear either on the day of the equinox or a few days before, and the 13th month is not required to be added. What is the tiebreaker here, my brothers and sisters, is that your 358 cycle will determine when this is added. Okay? But when we look at, for example, and when we look at Brother Hashur record in the year 2016 to 2017, that did happen. You have the new moon day, okay, to fall on the equinox day, which was March the 21st, 2007. Yes, you have some years like that, my brothers and sisters. It's not always exact, okay? There sometimes it's kind of like close, like on the borderline. So your determining factor, your tiebreaker, is to determine does it fall in the 358 cycle. All right. Take this time to pause your screen. Another thing I did include is remember when we had the 4 blood moons. And again, this is for my brother edification. So when you look at your numbers, remember there was a blood moon in the year of 2014. And on a blood moon occurs on a full moon day. So that was on the Passover day. So your new moon day has to fall on March the 31st. at sundown. Okay? FYI. Remember that. Also, we had a blood moon to occur on the first day of the Feast of Tabernacle. This happened in the year of 2014 and 2015. We have blood moons on the Passover day, which is Abib 14th, and we had a blood moon on the Feast of Tabernacle, which was Ephraim or Tishri, the 15th day. Okay, so that is no, in other words, if somebody say the new moon appear on this day, remember Enoch's writings. That's the only thing I have to say on that. But that full moon can only be on the 14th day for Passover, and for the Feast of Tabernacles, the full moon day can only be on the 15th day of the month. Okay? So, Brother Yahushua does have a sighting of that to occur on I'm sorry, I'm giving you the wrong thing. Make sure I'm looking at the right thing. On March the 21st in the year of 2015. Therefore, he did have a 13th moon on March the 10th, 2016. Okay. Now, sometimes he don't let you know when that day of that new moon began and end. So below in red, I put down from the 9th day to the 10th day. Okay. Same thing in the year of 2017. For him, he had claimed a 13th moon when it came in the year of 2018, and for him it fell on March the 19th, 2018. However, the world saw the new moon on March the 18th, 2018. And the reason why I did not add that new moon because it did not fall in the 358 cycle. Okay? I'm going to say this again because I want to be clear on this discussion. I want you to understand. When we look at the equinox for both of these years, for 2015 and 2017, was on the 20th of March. Okay? Now, in the year of 2015 to 2016, I agree with Brother Yahushua that a 13th moon should have been added. No problem. And the date that he got was March the 10th. But you know me, my brothers and sisters, I like to put down when the day began and end. And let me look at my records of what I have for that date. For the year of 2015 to 2016, I have March the 9th to March the 10th. Okay, that is the day of the new moon. Remember, it starts from sundown and end at sundown as this first day. Then in the year of 2017, my brother Yahushua added a 13th month because he said the new moon occurred before the equinox day. But for me, I did not add it because it did not fall in the 358 cycle. All right. Now I will take you to the video, this video here, where you see my cursor at. In this video, it discussed the key sign that Brother Yahushua was using to confirm why he added the 13th month. Again, you have to read the prophets' writings, such as Enoch. Also, there's a passage in the work of Josephus that will confirm what I'm saying unto you. But I don't want to spoil it for you. Watch the video and find out why. Sorry about that. Find out why that sign that Brother Yahushua is using occurred in the month of in the month of March, because it's something that he didn't use to verify. And the answer can be found in Genesis 1:14. And the only thing I want to ask you, I don't want to spoil it for you, because I want you to pray and meditate and seek Yahuwah and seek his word out. But what is the light in the heaven to confirm what season we are in? Or lights. What are the lights? in the heaven to confirm what season we're in. In other words, what confirms, I'm going to use the heathen terms now. What confirms we are in spring? What confirms we are in summer? What confirms we are in fall? And what confirms we are in winter? And use that to compare to the sign that Brother Hashur is using and ask yourself. Because if you read the prophet Enoch's writings, you will understand why that sign occurred. Okay? Let us go back here. Also, on this Google document, you will have access to the link of Brother Hashur on calendar record. Okay? And also in the video that explains why I did not add a 13th month. In the video description box, there you will have access to the Google Documents where you can see Brother Hashur photos of the new moons, such as the 13th moon or the first moon. Okay, you'll have access to that because I'm coming to you with facts, not with opinions, and this is simple mathematics. Okay, now we're going to look at what I have for the 13th month. Okay, so when I came into the truth, I came in the year 2014. So I had started keeping a record, looking at a lot of different things. And when I got the confirmation from the Father, I learned that his calendar record should consist of keeping a record of the sun, keeping a record of the moon, and keeping a record of Mazarah. Okay? And in that process, and looking at many people's records, I looked at a lot of people's records. I was able to backtrack when the 13th month occurred and what was the correct year as far as when you follow the 358 cycle. Okay, then with simple math. All right. Now we're going to talk about the sevenfold of the moon. The prophet Enoch in the second book of the prophet Enoch's writing, he gave us a little more detail about these luminaries, these lights in the heavens. And what you learn is that the moon will produce an extra moon 7 times in 19 years. Now, it has nothing to do with the Jewish people is following because as I go through this chart, you'll see what I'm talking about. Because what I have here does not match up with what the Jewish have. It is totally different, totally opposite. Okay? But when you look at the fold of the moon, there is 7 times that an extra moon would be produced. And you can see it in the heavens. Just count the moons. The heavens produce it. And the prophet Ezekiel confirmed this. But there are 7 times that the moon will produce an extra moon, 7 times in 19 years, such as you would see an extra full moon or extra dark moon. Let's look at your phases of the moon. If you count it and keep your record, you will see it. So I have here for the years that you should have a 13th month are in the year of 2002 to 2003, 2004 to 2005, 2007 to 2008, 2010 to 2011, 2012 to 2013, 2015 to 2016, and 2018 to 2019. Okay, and we're still waiting to close out 2018 to 2019. But when you subtract these years from each other, do you see the pattern? You get 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. Okay. Notice my cycle here again. When you subtract the difference between 3, 5, 8, you would get 3 from 5. You get 2. 5 from 8. You get 3. Then this cycle starts all over again. Remember, the most high ways is not the way of man. It's not continuous, but it's a cycle. Just as the sun has a cycle, the moon has a cycle. It starts all over again. Okay. So 3 from 5 is 2. Okay. Now from 8 to 3, because I know this cycle starting all over. That's how I know to put 3 because it takes it would take 3 years. Okay, for an extra moon to be produced after the 8th cycle. Okay? And 5, like I said, from 5 from 3, you get 2. Then 8 from 5, 5 from 8, you would get 3. All right? So in the year of 2015 to 2016, let's look at that. That was the 6th fold of the moon. Okay, that was the 6th time that the moon produced an extra moon within 19 years. Okay, so the 7th fold of the moon will fall in 2018 to 2017. Now, as far as with Brother Yahushua is, he has no record of that. Okay, that I could find that we can use to compare. But this is what I have, and I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, this keeping a record and going back looking at what people have. I had to look at Israelites and Gentiles. Most of the time, it was mostly the Gentiles I had to go to and look at what they have and compare and and research and verify and confirm that it was correct. You know, but by doing that, it really helped to get an idea what is the true cycle of this moon and what is the true fold of this moon or where it should be at. Because when we look at the year of 2009 to 2010 and 2010 to 2011, I want you to listen to what I'm saying, because this is what I'm talking about, how the moon can appear a couple of days early, but you're not for sure when to add the 13th month, especially when you're going back and, counting backwards and try to see where this 13th moon falls. Because in the year of 2009, we had the new moon crescent to fall on March the 17th, 2010. And the equinox was on the 20th day of March. So the new moon came in about 3 days before the 20th, okay? Then when we look at the year of 2010 to 2011, we had the new moon crescent to come in March the 6th, 2011, okay? And it was about 15 days before the equinox. Okay. And if I'm looking at my paper correctly, the equinox was on March the 21st of 2011, if I looked at it correctly, my brothers and sisters. All right. So when I was counting backwards, trying to figure out when to add a 13th month, this is what I'm talking about, my brothers and sisters. Which year should I add it? Should I add to 2009 to 2010? Or should I add it to 2010 to 2011? And to determine this is what determined it, looking at my cycle, the 358 cycle. So according to the 358 cycle, the 13th moon should have been added to the year of 2010 to 2011. And all you have to do, my brothers and sisters, take the time, sit down, write this stuff out. And when I look at my brother's record, it had to. It's the confirmation. Okay? All right, take this time now to pause the screen to look at that, what my brother had. Let me go up this a little bit more. And take this time to look at what I have. Okay. Now, another thing that I noticed in my brother's records is his formula for Pentecost. Now, there's a video on his channel how he determines the count for Pentecost, and this is why he gets something different from everybody else. According to him, when we look at Leviticus chapter 23, when we bring the first fruits known as the sheaf weight offering, we are to bring it on the day after the Sabbath. Okay? For him, he counts Abib the 22nd, which is a Sabbath day. It is a day of rest unto the Father. It is a holy convocation day. He counts that as the Sabbath, okay? For Leviticus 23 for the seed weight offering. So after Abib the 22nd, he count Abib the 23rd as the first day of the 50-day count. Now, you know I follow something different. I follow what the words say because you're supposed to count 7 complete Sabbaths and 50 days according to Leviticus chapter 23. And there's many proof to confirm that that the wheat is only right in the 4th month, okay? Because you have to have ripened wheat to make the bread, to make the leavened bread, okay? And not just any type of grain, because what the word was teaching me, you got to look at the ancient grain. What we see today is not the true ancient grain that man is using, but it's slowly coming back. But I don't want to get off track here. Let's get back focused. So his formula for Pentecost starts on, the count starts after Abib the 22nd. Okay. And when you click on this Google document, you just click on his video and you can see how he explains it. But when you read the work of Josephus, which I found surprising because Brother Yahushua used the work of Josephus to confirm unto us what is the Sabbath day. And that's another thing we don't agree on. But anyway, but in the work of Josephus, he tells you when the sheaf-weight offering day is. It is on the Abib 16th. It is always on the Abib 16th. The old covenant and the new covenant will confirm this. Even what the Messiah does will confirm this. From how he kept Passover to his day of resurrection. Okay? So the correct Sabbath day should have been Abib 15. Now, when I look at my brother records, I want to show this to you because I want you to see this for yourself. Notice here in 1994, see how he has Abib 14, okay, going down, as Passover. Then Abib 15 is, make sure I'm looking at it right. Make sure I'm looking at this correctly. I'm sorry. Yes. Forgive me, Shalaki. He does have the Passover day. He's claiming this as the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So let me explain this. And what, wait a minute. Forgive me, Shalaki. I'm about to misread this again. Okay. Abib 14 is the Passover day. Okay, see how he has this. But notice here, which is Wednesday going across, he has the 15th day as the first day of unleavened bread. And notice in parentheses, he has it written for the Sabbath day. Now, I know what you think. You're probably saying, oh, that probably was a typo, but let's go down and see. So you can see how he counts, okay? Because my thing is, if Abib 15 is the Sabbath day, why would you count Abib the 22nd as the Sabbath day? Okay? So here he claims, according to his record, Abib the 21st is the 7th day, which is the Sabbath. But when you read the word of the Most High, you will learn that Passover day is Passover day. And then after Passover day, we have 7 days, okay, to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And the key word is feast because on that day, something extra is done, okay? But it starts on Abib 14, and it is on Abib, make sure I got this correctly, 21st. So I do need to make a correction. And I do apologize. So when you count out the number 14 to 21, let's count it out. 14 is 1, 15 is 2, 16 is 3, 17 is 4, 18 is 5, 19 is 6, and 20. Wait a minute. Let me look at something else because this chart is very hard to count it out so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me go to this one. I'm going to blow this up. And I do apologize. Let's blow this up so you can really see what I'm talking about. Now, if you have your cell phone, you can really blow this up and you can really see what I'm talking about. That's better. Okay. Abid 14. This is the year 1994. As you can see, he has his calendar. Abid 14, which is these numbers here, is the Passover day. When he has written Passover Eve, prepare lamb. Then on Abib 15 is the Holy Convocation Day. It is the Sabbath day. And you scroll down a little bit more. And I want to blow this up so you can really see what I'm talking about. There we go. Right here. And he has it as the day when you start the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay? Then the Holy Convocation Day is on the bid the 21st. Okay? That is a Sabbath day, a day of rest. And yes, thank you, Father. In Exodus chapter 12, it says that we start from a bid 14 to a bid the 21st. But when you count the days, it's an 8-day feast. All right? And then on a bid the 21st, this is when Brother Yahushua brings his sheaf weight offering. But notice what I'm telling you. Why would you bring it after the 21st of a bid and not on the 15th of a bid? When the Messiah resurrected on a bid 16 to represent the first fruits, for he is the first fruit of the resurrection. It makes no sense. It's not matching up with scriptures. So when you look at his calendar record and you watch his video, what he's saying is not matching up because he is declaring the 15th of Abib as a holy convocation day, as a day of rest. Okay, let's look at another one. This is the year of 1996. Let's see here. Let's see. Same thing here. He has Abib 14 as Passover Eve, and then Abib 15 as the Holy Convocation Day, and the same thing for Abib the 21st as a Holy Convocation Day. But for him, he bring his first fruits of the barley harvest on Abib the 22nd. Let me take time to scroll down to the other calendars so you can see them as well. And you can take your time and look at that. Okay. 28, 2000. And you will see some discrepancies, like sometimes the dates don't match up what he have in this calendar record compared into the other calendar record. Okay. Go to the higher part so you can get that. Okay, this is 1995. And you will see the same thing there. Take this time now to pause your screen. '97. And 99. Now let me take you back to this. Now I can see how this one's flowing. So I understand where the confusion is coming from because when you read the Most High Word, you have to come in the whole volume of the book. In other words, you just can't take a scripture and run with it. You have to read the whole chapter in itself, and you have to read more than one book. Okay? And we're going to go to Numbers chapter 28, but I'm asking you to look at all the scriptures that I recommend for you to read. And also, when you read Numbers chapter 28, also read Numbers chapter 29 and look at how the Father does the Feast of Tabernacles in compared to the Feast of Unleavened Bread and with Passover. And then you can understand because I know where the confusion is coming from Because in the work of Josephus and also in the Bible, our people will call Passover, well, our people would include Passover as the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay. Also, in those same books, you would see that our people would separate the two. So we're going to go to the word, to Torah, to understand why they would separate the two. Okay. But I do want you to see how he counts to Pentecost, Brother Hashur. So he start his count on Abib the 22nd as his first day of the 50th count. So what I will do when you come to this Google document, I'm going to change that, have Abib the 21st. Oh, let me see. Let me do that now while you watching this, because I want you to see this as I'm doing. Okay, let's go back down there, because I want proof. I like to be correct and say what my brother said. And you can watch this video and see what he said too. Now we're going to the calendar record here. So as you can see that the 15th day is the Sabbath day. Okay, it is a holy convocation day. You will also see that the 21st of Abib is the Sabbath day. It is a holy convocation day. Okay, but Brother Hashur don't count the first day of the 50-day count. He don't count it until Abib the 22nd. All right. As you're scrolling down, you can see how he counts. Okay. And in the year of 1994, Pentecost landed on Wednesday, which was the third month and the 12th day. Now, if you read Exodus and you look at all the biblical events that pertains to the flood, to the covenant as the rainbow, as a sign of that covenant, and to the day when the children of Israel come to Mount Sinai, that day occurred way before. Okay. Now with the rainbow covenant, I know it's the first day of the third month, I believe. But when the children of Israel come to Mount Sinai, they don't come to Mount Sinai until the 15th day of the month. So that is way off. Okay. Then you do a further study of the biblical events and how many days Moses was on Mount Sinai. Okay. I want to show you another one. Same thing here when we get to this a bit. He does, as you can say, for proof, he does have the 15th day as a Sabbath day of a V, and he does have the 21st day as a Sabbath day. And he start his first day count for the Feast of Weeks on Abib 22nd. I do want to show you a 13th month. I come across it so you can see proof for that as well. Here we go. That was in the year of 97, as you see. So he lists down his 13th months. So you will have access to that link for you to review in your spare time. Okay. But like I said before, my brother Hashur was using Josephus' writing to prove unto us when the Sabbath day is. But Josephus tell you when the sheaf weight offering day is. Okay. Something to really think about. Now, I know for a fact that is not a misinterpretation, it's not a mistranslation, that the sheaf weight offering is on a vid 16, because it goes in hand in what the Messiah does, my brothers and sisters. So as you see here, what I did in this area, and I'm sorry, and you can find that information in Antiquities book, 3, chapter 10. Okay? Now, with the Most High, what I learned about His Word, for me, I have to hear it, I have to see it, and I have to write it out. So, to understand what is the correct way to determine what is a holy convocation day, when you look at His Word, which we will do, you will learn that Abib 14 is known as Passover Day. And yes, I'm aware in the Bible and in the work of Josephus, they will include the Passover day as the Feast of Unleavened Bread. But when you count the days from Abib 14th to Abib 21st, you get a total of 8 days. Okay? Now, Abib 15 is known as the Sabbath day. It is a holy convocation day. It is day 1 of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And here's the key word: it's a feast. Okay? And a holy convocation day means that we gather together as a congregation. Okay? Israelites and Gentiles. And during that period of time in the ancient days, the Gentiles who gathered among us who participate in the feast, they took hold of the covenant by the circumcision of the flesh. Okay? That was in the old covenant. Let us keep going. And then the Bid 21st is also a Sabbath day, a holy convocation day. That's a day where we assemble together at the temple, my brothers and sisters. Okay? Now, the chapters you need to read are Exodus chapter 12, chapter 16, Deuteronomy chapter 16, Leviticus chapter 23, Numbers chapter 28, Numbers chapter 29. In the new covenant, you need to read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, because you will see how the Passover kept Passover versus the Pharisees. The Pharisees did not follow Torah. Remember, they followed their forefathers' traditions. Even the work of Josephus will verify this. But they kept Passover feast during the daytime. But the Messiah kept Passover at night. Okay? And I want to stress to you, Passover day, which is Abib 14, is not a holy convocation day. It is not a day of rest. Remember, holy convocation day means we assemble ourselves together. All right. Notice where the Messiah keeps Passover. He kept the Passover in a man's house in his guest chamber. He did not go to the temple. Remember, the Messiah kept Torah perfectly. He did not break not one law. You have to look at that example. Okay. So it's no way that Abib 14 can be your Sabbath day. It cannot be your holy convocation day. And the chapter that's going to prove it, I mean, all these chapters prove it and back itself one another. But we're going to go to Numbers 8:28, because when you look at the offerings that is offered on this day, you begin to understand why he said this is a feast. Okay? Let's go there now. Numbers chapter 28, verse 17 to 25. And I just want to briefly mention that when we take the leaven at our house, it's done on a bid. Make sure I'm looking at it right. A bid 15, which is day 1. Okay. Now let's go to Numbers chapter 28. I eventually get there. You know how these computers are, they're a little bit slow, and I just went past it. Now I will start one verse higher because I want to show this. I understand where the confusion coming in, because many people are including the Passover day as day 1 of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Remember, keyword is feast. Okay, so I can see how that is happening, but it's not day 1. It's just known as Passover day. Day 1 starts on day 15 of Aviv. So we're going to start at verse 16. This is Numbers chapter 28. And it says, and in the 14th day of the first month is the Passover of Yahuwah. Now remember, now we read English, so we got to look at grammar. So when we go to verse 17, we see and, that means in addition to. Okay? It says here in verse 17, and in the 15th day of this month is the feast. So this is when the Feast of Unleavened Bread began. This began on the 15th day. 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. That verse proves and clarifies when the Feast of Unleavened Bread began, when we have a holy assembly, a holy convocation. So in verse 18 it says, "In the first day shall be an holy convocation, ye shall do no manner of servile work therein." Do you see that, my brothers and sisters? So what is the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread? Avid 15. You can see that. See? Okay? We're going to read and keep reading because notice the offerings. The offerings are a lot different than what is done on Passover Day. Verse 19. "But ye shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering unto Yahuwah, 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish." Okay? So now we got the burnt offerings that have to be offered. We have 2 bullocks, 7 lambs, and 1 ram. Okay? And they are to be without blemish. Now let's see what's the next offering. Verse 20. "And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3/10 stales shall ye offer for a burlock, and 2/10 stales for a ram. A 7/10 stale shall thou offer for every lamb throughout the 7 lambs." So the meat offering was pertaining to a grain offering, okay, that had to be offered in addition with the burnt offering. Now, this is a lot of food, my brothers and sisters. Now, look at this, okay? This is why this is known as a feast. Okay, now verse 22. "And 1 goat for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. Ye shall offer these beside the burnt offering in the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering." So on the Feast of Unleavened Bread, okay, which is of Avid 15, these offerings are to be offered in the morning besides the burnt offering, which is the continual burnt offering. You know what that is, my brothers and sisters? That is the daily sacrifice. Remember, there was a daily sacrifice that had to be offered that morning and that evening. This is a lot of food, my brothers and sisters. Okay? Now we're getting a confirmation why Avid 15 is a Sabbath day and why it's a holy convocation day. This is a day when we assemble ourselves together at the temple. Okay? "After this manner, ye shall offer there throughout the 7 days the meat of the sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahuwah. It shall be offered besides the continual burnt offering and his drink offering." Notice that this had to be done for 7 days straight. Okay? I'm going to read this again. It said, "After this manner, ye shall offer daily throughout the 7 days the meat of sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor to Yahuwah. It shall be offered besides the continual burnt offering and his drink offering." So 7 days this must be done. Continuing all these offerings, the burnt offerings, the meat offering, and the sin offering, that has to be offered for 7 days besides the daily sacrifice. This is why it starts on the bid 15 and on the bid 21st. Okay? And verse 25. "And on the 7th day ye shall have an holy convocation, ye shall do no servile work." Okay? Something to really meditate on. So when we look at Numbers 28, and I have to say, look at all those chapters that pertain to Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. This is why Avid 15 is the Sabbath day and the convocation day, and which confirms why Josephus written that the sheep-weight offering is offered on Avid 16, because it represents the day that the Messiah will resurrect from his grave. In other words, he'll not only resurrect from the earthly grave, but he will resurrect from Sheol. Okay? And he would be the second Adam. In other words, he set the example of the regeneration, of us being reborn again, of us returning back to the status of Adam, my brothers and sisters. For what happened to him on that day shall happen to us, body, soul, and spirit. Many people miss that mystery. Question to ask yourself, where is the Messiah earthly body? Where did it go? When you understand that, go back and look. Read the last chapter in Luke, and you will see what I'm talking about. Read 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 23. The same way his earthly body, the same way the same way he was made in the wholeness, in the fullness, we shall be too. Body, soul, and spirit. Okay? So when you look at the old covenant, it bears witness of the new covenant. It foreshadows what the Messiah have done and what he shall do when he come back to carry out the earthly judgment. So I just want to review this right quick so you can understand. What day should we bring the sheep-weight offering day? Abib 16. What is the witness? The work of Josephus and the Messiah. Did not the Messiah keep Passover at a man's house in his guest chamber? Did not the Messiah, notice that he did not go to the temple. Notice that even his disciples did not go to the temple. But there was no holy convocation day. Okay? Something to really think about here. Notice how the Pharisees kept Passover. They kept it during the daylight. Okay? But we're supposed to keep Passover at evening. So the Messiah kept every law, every commandment, every instruction that is written in Torah. He did not break not one. He fulfilled the law. Okay? And there's a mystery about the 3 days, 3 nights. But if you go to the channel and you watch those videos, you will learn what that mystery is and how he was in Sheol. See, people look at the earth, the earthly tomb. It was not talking about that. It was talking about Sheol. And remember, time is different. Time is very different for the Father and the Son than for us. But how he was in Sheol for 3 days and 3 nights. And it's amazing how the carnal align with the spiritual. And what I mean is, just as the big 16 is the first day of the first fruits of the barley harvest, it represents the Messiah being the first fruit of the resurrection, of the regeneration. Do you see how the carnal go in hand with the spiritual? Okay? Now let's bring us to this about this Gregorian calendar. It would never give you YAHUAH Sabbath day, because I know Brother Hashir is going to use the work of Josephus writings to support that. But when you understand language, you will learn that in Latin they would say Sabbaton. And you will learn that in Latin, Saturni represents Saturday, which is the star of Moloch or Cheyenne. When you read Acts chapter 7 and Amos, I think it's in the book of Amos too, you will learn that that day has nothing to do with the Most High Sabbath day. But here's one of the greatest proofs, because there's many proofs when you study the history of the fourth beast calendar that Daniel talked about in Daniel chapter 7. It's so many errors because they do not follow Genesis chapter 1 verse 14. See, the heavens tell you when his holy days are, when his holy feasts are. The heavens are given unto us. The lights in the firmament of the heavens are given unto us, Adam and Israelites, to be for signs, for days, for seasons, and for years. So what would a pagan heathen calendar give you? Lies. For it does not follow the heavens. It follows man and their principality, who is Satan, the prince of darkness, the prince of death and destruction. Okay? But one of the greatest proof that I have here for you, and this is according to the heathen standards, for those who want to continue to follow the heathen's weekly format to determine the Sabbath day. Did you not know that in October 1582, the heathens realized they was about 10 days behind the sun circuit? 10 days, okay, behind. Mhm. Take a look at this calendar and you'll see. Notice how they go from 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they jump to 15. And 15, they put 15 under Friday. Now, we're going to look at a calendar to show you what day 15 was on according to their weekly format. Because remember, they follow a 7-day continuous week cycle. And what I mean is your pattern should not change. No matter what, no matter if you make the correction when you realize you are far behind from the days of the sun. For example, let's go to, I want to go to a real good one here. Let me see here. Okay, let's go here. I want to work myself backwards down. What is 7 plus 15? 22. 7 plus 22, 29. So it's following the pattern of Saturn, right? 7. Okay, now let's go to this column on the Thursday. Now, even though they omitted some numbers, you still should have the same pattern, right, my brothers and sisters? Let's see. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 plus 7 is 18. And 18 plus 7 is 25. Whoa, that's not a multiple of 7. And 25 plus 7 is 32. Let's do another one. On the Wednesday column, 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 7 is 17. 17 plus 7 is 24. Whoa, 20 is not a number or multiple of 7. How can this be? Okay, let's scroll down because I put the link where you can go and look at this because TimeAndDate.com give you a pretty good history, like a summary about these Roman calendar. Looking at the ancient calendar of the Romans, looking at the Judean calendar, and looking at the Gregorian calendar. Those are all the calendars of the 4 beasts. So now let's look at what is the correct day of the week that the 15th should have been under before they made a correction. See, it should have fallen on Monday, not Friday. See, when the heathens realized they was not following the sun's circuit, they was losing time, my brothers and sisters. They was about, let me count these days. They was 10, that's a 10 days I'm sorry, that there were 10 days that is between the 4th of October, 1582, to the 15th of October, 1582. So when they omitted these days, instead of starting on Monday, they started Friday to be the 15th day. That's incorrect. This is why you cannot follow the count. This is one of the greatest errors, but it's many other errors that still go on to this day, and they would tell you the count is not accurate. It does not follow the circuit of the heavens. Therefore, you will never have the correct 7th day of the week. You are losing time. And according to the high priest Ezra in the Apocrypha, Yahuwah is very specific. He has he has certain days designated as holy days and certain days designated as ordinary days. So it does matter to him because they keep these feasts in the heavens. Yeah, they keep these things in the heavens. So what is done in heaven is also done in earth. We are to mimic them because we are made in the image of the Creator. Okay? So just as they have a day of rest in the heaven, we too will have a day of rest in the earth. So this is one of the greatest errors that you see. And let me bring it up a little bit more. And what happened that when the Romans start to enforce this calendar upon the world, because not everybody came in at the same time, when they came in, they had omitted it was somewhere between 10 to 13 days in their calendars. And they did the same format as the Roman did, as the 4th beast. So to my brothers, how sure, how can you say that Saturday is the Sabbath day when the heathens don't screw up your weekly format? And if you try to go back and add it up and figure out, good luck. They done so much to their calendar and made so many errors. You won't know where you at. But if you follow Genesis 1:14 and you read the Apocrypha and the prophet Ezekiel writings, because he gives you the formula of the Most High calendar and all the other writings. And then you look at the gospel, because there's so many hints in the gospel. And also in the work of Josephus, there's other things I have found in the work of Josephus to prove unto us that the Sabbath is determined by the lights in the firmament of the heaven. But you have to have the Spirit to teach you how it's determined. And the prophet's writing is going to back it up. Yes, I'm telling you. And the heavens going to back it up. And since I follow the Most High calendar, his calendar, and following his Sabbath, it is so much easier to keep it. Now that I embrace the new covenant. Because when you learn the truth about this fourth beast kingdom and the snares that they set for you, they have made it hard, difficult to keep Torah, to keep the covenant. Just they follow the same format as Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes, that first wicked anti-Messiah who prevented the people of the Most High from keeping the covenant. The fourth beast kingdom is following that same format, my brothers and sisters. Do you think they're going to make it easy for you to keep this? No. They do not follow Yahuwah's commandments nor his instructions. This is why the Father sent the Messiah to make a new covenant for you. When you understand the mystery on how you can keep the Sabbath day perfectly and how you can keep these holy days and holy feast days perfectly without having an earthly high priest on the earth, without having an earthly temple on the earth, without having without not being able to go to Tel Arad, which is the Jerusalem of the Jebusite. When you understand the mission, how you can fulfill those things through the new covenant, when you understand that, then you will know you are truly set free, and that this fourth beast cannot imprison you or keep you from serving the Father. But now we worship the Father in spirit and in truth. A mystery that many do not understand. Even my brother Yahushua, he caught up in the ways of the Pharisees. I see the dark things that he has indulged himself in. The five-pointed star, sacrificing the lamb, and hanging it on a wooden cross. How he talked to people, how he treat people. I see his fruits. And what's so sad that I believe in my heart, my father did call him and bless him to find the true Jerusalem of the Jebusite. But I see my brother following the ways of darkness. I see my brother doing as Saul did, doing his will and not Yahuwah will. That's what I see in my brother. So my brother Yahushua, I learned a lot from your calendar records. I did. I learned what to do and what not to do. I learned to seek the Father, even when my brother had turned their back on me and would not answer my questions. I learned to seek him, and through him, his spirit taught me about the word and where to find the scriptures to confirm what he was showing me. The word. And I thank you, brother, for that, because if you did not do that unto me, it would not have motivated me or encouraged me or pushed me to keep digging, which basically following Luke 11, verse 9 to 13. It says, "Seek ye shall find, knock and the door shall be open, ask and it shall be given." So thank you, my brother. I do thank you for that because that's what it led me to. So in the scripture document, there's many other videos to give you. I'm talking about facts. This is not opinions about the fourth beast calendar known as the Gregorian calendar. And also listen to other errors in their calendar and how it would not give you Yahuwah's Sabbath day. It would never give you his Sabbath day. Okay. Also, you will have access to the playlist of the Messiah's birth month because through his word, it taught me that the Messiah would be sent to Adam, okay, and to the rest of the soul, into Sheol, to deliver them from Sheol. It is confirmed by the writings in the Psalms written by David, in the book of Ephesians, also in the Gospel, and many other books as well. For the word said that he would come unto them in the 5,005. I'm sorry. The word, for it is written that the Messiah would come unto them in the 5,500 year. And according to what I have thus far, it fell in 32 AD. But there are key signs in that book. When you read the New Covenant, there's a record in the heaven that would let us know when the Messiah was born. And it fell in 3 BC. Also, there's another record in the New Covenant that lets you know when he was about to preach. And that was, I believe, done with the 14th year reign of Tiberius that fell in 28 AD. And when I looked at Yahuwah timeline with the biblical events, when I look at the time when the Messiah went to Sheol, back to the time when Solomon was building the temple, it was 1,000-year difference. I said, Father, this is confirmation unto me. So my brother and my numbers may not be exact, but we're close. And that is because the heathens have done so much to our records. But one thing is true about this. His spirit will teach you all things, my brothers and sisters. His spirit. So when you get a chance, click on the video description box. I want you to listen to Yahuwah prophetic message, for he has spoken, confirmed what day we are in. For we are in the 7th day from Adam. My brother Hashur got 7,518. I know I got 7,000 and something. I can't remember on top of my hand exactly. And Beta Israel, I know they got 7,000 and something as well. Now the Jews will have 5,007 something, but we all know why that's so. They are the synagogue of Satan. They don't believe in the Messiah, so that's why they're about off 2,000 years. But with me, Brother Hashur, and Beta Israel, we are confirming to you that we are in the 7th day, which align with the prophecy that's been in 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and Matthew chapter 24. For the Messiah said that we shall know the season of when he is to return. And he is to return in the 7th day from Adam, which is 12,000 years from creation. Okay? So check out what the Father had to say, because he confirmed the season as well in his prophetic message. Also, you will have access to this Google document. Click on that so you can look at the video, okay? And also look at, and also get understanding about Yahuwah's calendar and look at the Messiah's true birth month. Because there's a record in the heaven that confirmed when he was born, as well as there's proof in the heathens or the Gentiles records. It can be found. Even the work of Josephus, there was a record in the heaven that confirmed when Herod died. He died in 1 BC. Okay. Yeah, he died in 1 BC, and he was 70 years old. Many sources of the heathen would say otherwise. But when you look at the Most High prophet's writings and his words, and the Most High historian, who is Josephus, it will confirm unto you what that means. All right. Let me see. Can I get this thing? There's something up here on my screen. I don't know if you can see it, but I want to see if I can get rid of it. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, let me do it that way. So let me see. Okay. So, man, sorry about. Okay, sorry about that, my brothers and sisters. I had some things going on with this device. You know how it is. So I don't want to be long-winded anymore. But again, my brothers and sisters, this is not to make fun of no one or to belittle no one because we all can make errors. But the thing is, how do we deal with the error? That's what the Father look at. Do we be honest and come correct, or we just overlook it and continue in our ways? That's what the Father look at. All right. Continue to preach the gospel that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10, and baptize the people in the name of Yahushua HaMashyach. For the Lamb set the example of the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism, and the apostle continued them both. And we must follow the same example as the Lamb and as the apostles said. And I wish you a shalom. And do you know who that peace is? Read Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. Think about it.